Good afternoon, everyone. Hope I am audible. Can anybody confirm me?
Ma'am, you're
Yes, ma'am.
audible, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. I welcome everyone to today 34th SOA weekly academic lecture. And before moving to this webinar, let me introduce our speaker, Mr. Suvendu Kumar Das. And Mr. Suvendu Kumar Das is working as an Agile coach, strategic consultant, project manager at Infosys. He is currently leading 3 different teams at Infosys. He has also worked the CTO of a Auditors Consulting Private Limited. He completed his MTech in VLSI and MP, Embedded System Design from VTU Chennai and SIDEC Pune in 2016, and BTech in Electronics and Communication Engineering from Sambalpur University in 2014. He conducted many FDP talks related to software process and technology in different universities and industry. Mr. Das awarded with research fellowship from DRDO, ITER Lab and DAE, and also an active research contributor and speaker of Stanford School initiative by Stanford University. Again, come to his award and achievement that yes, he has received several awards for exceptional commitment from auditors in February 18 and June 19, long service award from auditors in February 21, then employee of the month award from Power Financial Wellness in October 20, best performer from Edit Theory LLP US in March 19, record of achievement from SAP in July 17, and research fellowship award from ITER Lab DRDO India in December 16, and research fellowship award from TAT DAE Lab India in October 16. Okay, so I welcome Mr. Suvendu Kumar Das for today webinar. Mr. Suvendu, can you hear me?
Yeah. Thank you, madam, for your uh, brief introduction about me, and thanks to all of you for joining this webinar. So I just share my screen.
Yes, please share your screen and kindly share your knowledge with us.
Okay. So now my screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, it is visible.
Okay. So uh, first of all, I really thankful to the HOD madam for and the faculty coordinator and all of the people for joining these sessions. And uh, when I actually I got the first I do the discussion with Satrupa madam. I just think what I'll be going to share with you people actually. So first of all, I thought what the things I'll be going to share with you. It will be in real time one, and you can able to understand with both the software process and also in the life, because every day we also facing lot of difficulties and lot of challenges in our life. And when I work with this agile process and the scrum master or agile coach in the industry, I try to interlink with these processes with our life. So I find out that it will be really interlink with our day-to-day life actually. So I just try to explain with people on that basis, because otherwise it will be really boring. And I know you people are know that, because you have a one paper in your computer science in your BTech programs. software engineering. So on that, you know these things also. But I'll be try to give you some industry experience of what actually we are doing and how we are actually doing and how the things are going on in the industry. And at the last, I'll be try to interlink the how we can able to implement this in our day-to-day everyday lives, whether this is in our partner or in the friendships or in our family. Okay, I just try to mix up all the things in this today's talk actually. And before, I'll be going to, I think already Satyapa madam gave me a brief introduction about me. I just keep in this. So I'll be start the first questions on this, but before that, I just want to know how many people are know about different methodologies. What are the different methodologies you know apart from Agile? Anybody can give some answer on that? Anybody know any?
I think very few know that students may
So
not have experienced.
do you heard any type of methodology which is used in the software? Okay, I'll be just tell you. So there is lot of different methodologies are there. Okay, so if I'll be going to say first, you heard the methodology waterfall model, right? Are you heard that? Anybody?
Yes, sir. We heard
Yes.
waterfall
Yeah.
model. Yes.
Yes, waterfall model. So then you heard the word DevOps development methodologies there. There is like rapid application development methods are there, right? So nowadays agile methodologies are using. And my question is that what is agile methodology? Anybody want to share on what you know about that, or I'll be going to share? Okay.
Yeah, I think please continue. So some of the students they have not yet studied software.
Okay. Okay. Okay, sir. I'll be just
So
discuss
it
on
will be
that
kind
directly.
enough if you can take us.
Okay. In agile is a purely mindset, like how we behave on that way, and how we can able to adapt the changes in a very positive way. For example, if I'll be going to say in our day-to-day life, whatever we thought to do, if there is some changes will be going to be happen, so we are actually worried on that how we can able to solve this problem or whatever the impediment or challenges we are facing in a day. So we try to solve that, and we are worried how we can able to solve these things, right? So in the agile world, it will be saying like that you have the ability to adapt the changes, or you have the ability to create some new things and respond that with a very positive way. That is the basic things and basic fundamental. It will be agile is saying. Okay, and in this agile are using not only in the software development segments. Currently, agile processes are using in pharmaceutical sectors. It will be using in the media sectors. It will be using in the automobile sectors. Everywhere now they adopt the agile processes. And when I'm saying the agile processes are different methods are also there. Okay, this is not only that in the agile we are saying uh, uh, a scrum is there only. Okay, there is kanban is there, crystal is there, xp is there. Okay, lot of different methods are there. And if I'll be going to say in the current industry, more industries are currently adopt the scrum process, and that also vary. uh, some projects are using the xp processes, some are using the hybrid models. I'll be say what is hybrid. And some projects are actually using the waterfall, which will be old one. And some processes are using the Kanban. Okay, so that is purely depends upon which actually the method is compatible with the that particular projects. Okay, so that is purely depends upon the business. Business means the client side, and the the company which is actually handling that project. Okay. So in when I'm saying the hybrid, actually, there is some lot of complex projects are there. Industries are working in that project. Actually, the industry using both the Scrum process, the scaled agile process, and the waterfall model. The all the threes are actually using in that project. So at that time, we are saying this is the hybrid model, and in the theoretical, there is no such model actually. In theoretically, if you will be going to particularly in Scrum, so they are not saying anything which will be there as a hybrid thing. In the Scrum, you are okay to use the waterfall model. They're not saying okay. In the scaled agile framework, what I'm saying in that you can able to use the Scrum method because it will be integrated on that. For the big project, we are using the scaled agile method. Okay. So there is lot of methods are actually using in the industry as per the industry requirement. And when I'm saying the Kanban is using morely the testing projects. Those are the testing projects. They are actually using the Kanban method. So they are using the Kanban boards and they work on that. Okay. So the 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 best beauty of this agile process is that they're actually following the principles and values. if if the systems or if the process have the principles and they have work with some value propositions, then it will be a more professional and more client satisfied, and everybody is happy on that process, and it will be good to deliver. So the naturally the thought process there, why we are not using the waterfall model and why we are using the agile processes now. So there's a lot of things are in your mind. So I just because I know you are not still not you are not studied the software engineering. I just go to the in the back. In the waterfall model, what actually happening? We have to do the all the documentations work first. Means first we have to do the requirement gathering. For example, with adopt one project. So what is the first thought is that we have to understand what the requirement is there, what the things we want to do, what the client is actually interested to do, right? So we have to gather all the information, and then we started doing the design documentation. We have to design the UI, the backend, the UX, all the things. Means you can say in the document we prepared everything, right? Then we thought the process to we will going to start the development. Means each phases we are do what we are actually doing. We take the sign up from the client. First, we gather the requirement. We take the sign up from the client. Yeah, that's done. We are okay with this requirement. Now you can proceed for further. Then we do the designing work and in the document, and then we take the sign up from the client, and then we start the development, right? And for example, in after that, when the development is completed, we take the sign up, and then we start the testing. The software testing is started, and after that we take the maintenance work. Okay? Like these three these different processes we are going through. And the interesting part is that what happened in the industry, that at the end we find out that there is some bugs are there which is very critical, and we have to work with again. So what is happening? The industry which is provide the project, actually it will be faces the first thing, the time is gone, right? We lost the big chunk of time, and then the budget, whatever the amount they are actually using, it is wasted. Again we have to work, because if it changes in the middle of the critical things in the build part, naturally it will be affect the other dependency is there, right? So it will be again you have to start from the scratch again. Or for example, any changes in the design, then it will be started from the scratch itself, right? So we waste our time, we waste our money, and also we waste the trust of the company, trust of the client, right? So in that process, actually we are facing a lot of issues. So then at that time the agile processes are built, and companies have started accepting the things. And in the agile processes, like it will be a very flexible one. In the middle of the sprint you can change the design and you can work on it, because every chunk of duration we are actually delivering the things to the client. In the initial days, the when the planning is started, people are actually doing the high one first phase of the planning, and that planning they just work what is the duration we will going to fix it, how many duration will be going to deliver the client, and we show the demos to them. So they are happy in the and every period of time. Okay, they know, yes, whatever we are given with them, they'll be delivered to us, right? So that the create the trust also, and what they believe, whatever we are actually paying, we get back that also. Okay, so in the every durations they get some new update about their work, about their projects. Okay, so when I'm saying uh, about the principles and values, Agile is actually focus four value systems, and these value systems they actually follow every method. As I mentioned, Agile have different methods are there. Okay, so whether the Kanban, whether Scrum, whether XP, whether Crystal, okay, all the methods are follow the same value systems and principles, but the difference is that they have their own processes also. They have some changes in their way of working. That is the only different. But everybody is based upon the agile. Like we are creating some framework, and the framework in that framework can create different applications, right? So like that, the framework is agile, and in that framework we use different like Scrum, Kanban, or other methods. Okay, but this is the base one. So the four principles, four values are like that. The as you see, the individual interaction over the process and tools, and the second is the work software over comprehensive documentation, and the customer collaboration over contract negotiations, and the responding to change over flow following a plan. Right? These are the four value systems which is actually used by the agile processes. I'll be just go to each value system how they actually working. Okay, and whatever I'm saying, the value systems or the principle, these are actually called agile manifesto. Everything belongs to the agile manifesto. They have the manifesto, and in that manifesto they mention the value systems and principles. These four value systems actually the pillar of the agile system. Okay, the first one, when it will be saying individual and interaction over the process and tools. uh, if I'll be going to say in the real world also, the communication is the best part to manage everything, right? If you want to, if you have a proper communication, then you can able to share your thought, or your what you actually try to convince to the your client or the opponent. You can able to communicate with them if you have a proper communication or proper understanding on that. Okay, so and what I feel on agile processor feels like the valuing the people is more highly than the processor tool. Processor tools are not so intelligent because we are creating this software and we are creating this process and tools, right? So if you'll be going to give more value to the people, then it will be more easy to understand, because the people who actually respond to the business needs, the process and tools are not going to respond to you. They just follow the things. Okay, the person and the those are there, they actually going to respond to the business. Okay, business needs, and what the process actually we are going to develop, right? So that is the main idea of this first value actually. And and that is the first point. And if I'll be going to second value principles, uh, working software over comprehensive documentation, right? I'm not saying in the agile processes we are not doing any documentation. When I give you the example of waterfall model, in each stage we do the documentation. Whether in the requirement, we create a one documentation. For the design, we create the documentation. For the build part, we create the different documentations, like functional document, the technical document, then the uh, unit testing documents. Like we create multiple documents, right? And also we create some specific document, technical specifications, technical requirement, technical prospects, interface design documents, test plans, document plan, approval plan, like lot of documentation actually happening during the waterfall model. Here the things is also there, but less documentation work. Very clear cut things are there. In the agile processes, there is a streamlined things are there. The developers, what are the actually the developer need, they create the document for that. They're not creating multiple documentation which is not actually going to be used, or it will be creating some confusion with the developers. Okay, So what the agile documentation actually require? The agile process require the user stories actually. User stories means they have the particular task, what actually we have the targets, what the task will going to complete in that particular durations, right? So in that, it will be focused more on that rather than it will be more focused on the design document or technical document or like interface document like that. Okay. So, and this particular user story document should have that sufficient software development task and description. So it will be useful for them. In that agile process, we create the document particularly dedicated for the particular task, and the task have the sufficient description so that developers start the work. And in this way, actually, the second principle is work. Okay. And if you're going to the third principle, which is mentioned that customer collaboration over the contract negotiation. The negotiation, right? Negotiation is the period when the customer and the product manager, every company have their own product manager. So they actually work with each other. When any projects we actually discuss, the product manager and the customer side, both are actually discussed and they create the details to deliverable things. Okay, whatever we actually going to deliver, they do the negotiations on that. Okay, and every time the renegotiations are going on. But here what actually the agile principle is particular value is saying, for the collaboration we create different type of cultures where we directly start the work with the basic negotiation, and in the each duration of the period we uh, we check with that whether the design is correct or not, whether the work whatever we planned it will be correct or not. So in that period also the companies are able to say to the client that the engagement and the collaborative thought means the process what they are mentioning, that is also correct or not. Okay, and how much effort they require they also able to share with the client, because the complexity will be changed in the different time period actually, and in that period it will be clear to the client and also the company that we require this much of efforts to deliver the things. So they have the clear cut about their budget, and they have the clear cut about their efforts and how much they want to recruit the new people for this particular duration. So everything will be very clear cut. This is not the one day task we can able to complete all the negotiations and going to start the work like what we have done in the during the old process like waterfall model. Okay, and the third and the fourth one is very important. This is called responding to change over the following a plan. Responding to change, actually, it will be very critical one, because when in the waterfall model, if you are saying about the changes, it will be really a headache for the client side. They're really disappointed with that changes work. If anybody is showing giving the like that, we're going to change the design or the code part or anything. In agile process, what happening actually? So uh, this is not going to be happen, right? Because every duration we are delivering the things, if there is some changes will be going on before the sprint or before the term will be going to start, we'll be going to do the planning and start the work. If there is some rework will be there, we'll be going to work on it. Okay, so that is the beauty of the agile process or the beauty of the scrum process, you can say, on the kanban, any processes, those are there in agile process. Okay, and it will be very good for the that's when I'm saying that responding to change, it will be very good for the big projects, because in the larger projects there are a lot of challenges actually occur during the work, a lot of changes actually happening during the work, and and it will be good for the companies to adopt the agile processes. Okay, so they can able to do the delivery the things to the client side, and also the client side will be happy that they are actually working on their what they require in that design. Okay, so and these are the four principles also saying with the these four values are also going to be interlinked with the 12 principles. The the agile have 12 principles. I'm saying means the principles are saying like the way of working, And sometimes it will be saying like that this is the agile movement where the cultures and the changes is welcome and the customer is the purely focus on their work, and they also try to demonstrate uh, the work to the client. Okay, so I'll be going to explain each and every 12 principles. What are the principles actually the agile follow? Okay, the first point is that the customer satisfaction through early and continuous software delivery, right? What this means actually, customer are happier when they receive the working software, right? Every clients are happy on that. When they get that it will be a working fine, and they saw the reviews and review work, demos work, right? And in a regular interval. So as a client, they require that only. Okay, rather than waiting for till the end when the building will become builds are complete and they'll be going to see it. Okay, so the first principle is that customer satisfaction through yearly and continuous software delivery is going to be happen. Okay, and second principle is that accommodate changing requirement throughout the development process. The ability to avoid delay when a requirement and features request changes. Okay, it will be save the uh, time actually. So we can in the middle we can change it and accommodate it, and we can replan it, and we can able to implement it. And a frequent delivery of working software. So in this actually the Scrum principle is accommodate this principle actually. And since the team is operating in software sprints, I'm saying sprint means the iterations. What is the duration of the iterations that ensure regular delivery of the working software? Okay, and collaboration between the business stakeholder and the developers throughout the project. In this agile principle, actually, both the business side and the developer side both are working daily actually. So in the daily means they discuss every day what is the status of the project and how they actually work and how the things are going on, and they have the clear cut things. They have the clear cut knowledge about the project in each day, how the things are going on. Okay, and the fifth one is the support, trust, and motivate the people involvement in the agile processes. Uh, they motivate to each other because in the agile processes they required a cross-functional team. Cross-functional team means everybody knows, everybody is not like that. The developer is there, or the only testers are there, or only specific persons are there, right? In a Scrum team, or in particular the team of those are using the agile, they are cross-functionals. The developer also do the testing, and there is no particular position for the testers. Okay, in the Scrum there is only three things are there, like uh, three peoples are there. One is the product owner, then is the Scrum master and the developer. Three peoples are present actually, three positions are present. If we are saying the project manager is there, the business analyst is there, then there is some testers are there. Actually, in the Scrum process, we are not actually counting these people. We just count three people. The product owner, he's from the client side, and the Scrum master, which is actually check, facilitate, and solve the impediments, and create a good breeze between the product owner and the developer teams. So he's actually managing the total team actually, and the developer. They are actually consisting of the development team and the tester, you can say, or the anything you can say. They are come under this only. Okay, so these are the three peoples are there. So it will be create a good collaboration between the business stakeholder and the developers. Okay, and support, trust, and motivate the people involvement, which is also created through this small team. Okay, and also if I'll be going to say the sixth point is the enable face-to-face interactions. The interaction is happening because, as I mentioned, the direct communication will be happen with the client. The developers also directly do the communication with the product owner or the developers or the client side, and they actually solve their issues directly. So no need to go to the hierarchy and you just create a new ticket and check with them, solve your issues. Not happening. You have the daily meeting. You can able to check with them directly and solve your issues. And there is other process like working software is the primary major progress. Yes, it will be more focused on the software process than the documentations, as I mentioned. And agile process to support a consistent development space speed actually, because every duration you have to deliver the something. If I'll be going to give the example of scrum, actually in the scrum team, in a particular sprint, you have to deliver the task within 7 days or 15 days duration. Means in that 15 days you have to deliver something and you have to show the demo to the client. That is not a big days. Some companies are accepted 30 days also. Thus one sprint have 30 days duration, but maximum companies are adopted the 15 days duration task. So it will be more accurate, and they try to deliver to the client in the uh, good number of durations. Okay, in a small duration we are also go share the work. Okay, and if I'm going to say another, the self-organized team encourages a great architecture and requirement and design. So as I mentioned in that team, there's everybody is a cross-functional team. So there is a good thing is that we have a good decision making. We can able to do the decision in a very short period of time, and everybody take their own ownerships what they are going to be delivered. And they have a good communication, because every day they do the communication with the team members and share their ideas, what they actually they have the thing, what they have the thought, what the challenges they are facing, so they are discussing with the team. And we have the another last point is the regular reflections on how to become more effective, right? So as I mentioned, the team is self improvement and process improvement, the advanced skills and technologies they are using. So it will be also the all the methodologies are using these principles also. and all the 12 principles are actually helpful to deliver the things and deliver the product to the customers. Okay, so I'm saying in this between the value system and the principles, there are a lot of terms about the scrum, actually sprint. I'm saying the product owner, I'm saying the scrum master, I'm saying developers, sometimes I'm saying the durations. So I'll be just summarized these things before going to the actually how we can able to use the agile in the real life. So in the I just say you the Scrum have very limited things are there. We do different events we have done to maintain these value principles actually. So if I'll be going to say the key people in that, as I mentioned, the product owner, the Scrum master, and the developers. Three people are there involved in the Scrum team, and they conduct different events. Events means first event they do the planning actually. When the any sprint will be going to start, they do the planning. Whatever we are actually going to deliver, what is our idea to deliver in particular duration. For example, I'm saying in the next 15 days we'll be going to deliver these things, right? So in the planning meeting, actually we do the things. We do discuss with each and everyone in that meeting. Can say the scrum master is a facilitator. He organized the event, and the product owner will be there. He'll be going to discuss what is the requirement from the client side we'll be going to deliver. And the uh, SME, you can say the technology lead or the functional consultant are there. They actually help the team to understand it, how we can able to achieve that. And at that meeting we discuss on that, and we segregate each and every task on that. Okay, whatever the tasks are there, we created this task and assigned to each developer whatever their targets, what they actually going to deliver. Okay, and this the first event is the sprint planning. And after that, every day there is a event will be conducted that is called daily scrum. And in the daily scrum, everybody is saying what they achieved today and what is their plan to complete you can say what they achieved and what they completed today, and what the challenges they are facing to complete the task. If they don't have challenges, that's good, but if they have, they can able to share in that daily meeting. And the third event actually happened at the end of the sprint, that is the demo. You can say whatever we have completed, we are actually going to give a demo to the client. In that demo, the client will be there and they check whether the things are running perfectly or not, whether the designs are good or not. Okay. And last event is the fourth event is the retrospective. Retrospective, what is the purpose of retrospective? Means we are analyzing to each other how we are actually deliverable, what how we can able to deliver in the proper way, whether there is some challenges are there, whether there is any issues are there, we are not able to address it, or how we actually the team is performing, uh, why we are not able to complete this much of task, what are the things is there, and whether uh, uh, how we can able to improve the our way of working. In that retrospective, actually the things are conducted in that way. Okay. And also the team is celebrate the things, the achievements also, and there is some award ceremonies are actually there, the which is the best performer in that particular sprint, and what is the new methods we actually implement in that particular sprint. So everything will be happening. And I just say very high level about the scrum actually. And in the particular there is no hierarchy. You don't say like that the product owner is the big people, means in the portfolio size, and the scrum master is the in the upper layer, or the developer is in the upper layer. Everybody is equal actually. In the scrum it will be saying everybody is equal and everybody is respect to each other, and we are working as a team. That is the principle, and that is the way of working in a scrum. There is no up and down. Okay. There is nobody is in the upper layer or nobody is in the down layer. Okay. So this in this principle actually the agile processes and scrum is actually working. Okay. So if I'll be more convenient, and I'll be try to whatever I'm saying now, I am really interested to implement this thing in our everyday life actually. I try to give an example how we actually implement these things in our life. And if we're not using it, whether we are actually using these things, the agile processes or scrum processes in our daily life, so it will be more smooth and it will be create more trust in between us, and it will be create a smooth way of working. So let's see. So how we can able to say. So these are my 5 points. Whatever I'm saying in that way, in the scrum process actually we are actually going to use it. The first point is that develop a sprint backlog for your household. When I'm saying sprint means the iteration I'm saying. Okay. Each iteration we're saying the one sprint actually. Okay. So for example, we have a family, and everybody for example, whether there's a family or you are staying in a shared room, we have different people are in our room, right? So we want to discuss with each other, and we do one agreement that, so what is the duration of our sprint. For example, we decide that the duration of our sprint is 7 days, and we're going to start it from Sunday, and that is end on Saturday. And what is the responsibility each other will be decide that that thing. But before starting this actually backlog, so we decide on that way. And first thing, now start going to create a backlog. What the backlog means? What the work actually we're going to achieve in this particular week. Okay. So for example, we have some worker there. So if we are sharing our room or in a family, there is lot of tasks are there, right? We just note it down in that in we can put a whiteboard, or if your glass doors are there, you can put some sticky notes on that. Okay. And you just note it what the things are we have planned actually. So note it down, and gather these things, and then start to do the plan that will be the facilitator for that. We can create the product owner, assign to someone the role that you are the product owner, and some we are going to assign to someone the scrum master who will be actually follow up the things and will be going to facilitate to the both the product owner and the developers. Okay, and which will be the actually the developers. Okay, so in that way we just assign to each and everybody. Okay, and we can then we can able to plan on that way. Okay, now the thing is that we have, because we are saying your family or friends or partners, so that should be a value system should be there, right? Nobody is like a subordinate, or nobody is like a your servant. So that should be a value system, and that should be a principles are there. We'll be going to decide on that what the principle we're going to follow, how we can able to achieve the success of each and everybody's life. When somebody has achieved one task, how we can able to celebrate the things, and how we can able to encourage to each other, and how we can able to cooperate to each other, how we can able to solve and support to each other. These are the things we can able to create on that value systems, and we can follow it on. So so when I'm saying all the things, so if in your family, nobody, if somebody is not belongs to software field, or somebody, if I'm going to say parents, they don't know about the things, right? So first we have to convince them, we have to give them the idea about how we actually going to implement it. Or if your friends are there, they don't know about, they are from belongs to in different sectors, and they don't know it, so you can have to give the understanding about it. And then at the end you can celebrate it, whatever the success you have. If you have failures are also there, or if you have not achieved something, so you can carry out for further, but don't forget to celebrate. And I hope that will be going to give a bang on it. And through this scrum principle in your daily life or everyday life, will be going to achieve lot of things on it. Okay, so this is just the example of that. So that is, I thought on that process it will be going to implement. So you can use it. You can give a feedback to me if you're facing any issues, so I can able to guide you on that. Okay, so these are the things. But as you are students, in my thought actually, what is the job opportunity on that? What is the actually people are interested to get the job in this field, if they are actually I'm saying there is lot of positions are there, like the product owner, scrum master, developers are there, right? How, what's the scenario of that? In, if I'm going to say, in the current scenario in the world, the ninth best certifications course, you can say the scrum master course, people are saying. Okay, so there is lot of openings are there in particular scrum master position, or the agile coach, uh, or particularly the safe agile principle followers, right? So there is lot of openings are there in the industry. If you'll be go to the LinkedIn, or if you go to the Indeed and Naukri, you can find lot of position in particular. But is this for freshers? I'm saying no. If you are particularly focused for the scrum master position or the product owner, this position is purely for the experienced people. Okay, but yes, you are able to join in the developer. And if I'll be going to say in the Ajay, your freshers, so don't think like that everybody is going to do the uh, coding. Actually, there is lot of positions that there in the IT industries, and everybody's requirement is different. Not everybody doing the coding actually. Many people are do the planning, many people do the testings. Testings are different, as you know. Some are manual testing, and some things are automation testing. Also, for automation, people are using the code, and manual testing, there is less code chances. And developers are there, so naturally they are do the, if I'm going to, if you are engaged with the development projects, naturally you'll do the development. So there is some, if you are management people, people are joining with the business analyst position, there is some tools are they're using. So there is less chances of doing coding. You are more acquainted with the tools. Some developers are actually working, they are more working with the tools rather than coding. Actually, there is a lot of design tools are there, just drag and drop. There is no required of the coding knowledge, but you have the coding knowledge, then it will be easy for you to understand the things. That is the best part on that. Okay, I hope everybody have the C knowledge, so they can able to understand the code actually minimum. and maximum programming languages have the same syntax, same structure. Actually, I'm not saying same syntax. Everything have the different syntax, but the structure is the similarities are there, so you are able to understand with this a little bit effort. Okay, so you can plan on that way. So in the subsequent time, when you passed out and you joined with a different company, the industry's current requirement is very high. So I'm saying you can able to follow on that way, and you can get the job, not an issue, or whether any positions, right? Can able to achieve it. So these are the my discussions on that. So I'm ready to accept the questions. If anybody have the questions, they can ask me.
Thank you, Mr. Suvendu. Anyone has any question? Please,
Okay.
I think,
So the first question I saw, the how long it takes to become a real master. Okay.
yeah.
So in if I'm going to say in the agile, it will be a continuous improvement process. In the continuous improvement process, if you are saying you are the master, so nobody is the master, because in the every duration of time, the tools are changes, the technologies are changes, the processes are changes, and also the agile processes are modified. The new principles are added, new value systems are added, and if I follow scrums, they also added some new principles in every 2 years. So you can master with the challenges, but you are not able to master uh, with the flow, because it will be a continuous improvement. Yes. Any questions now? Yes, that's why agile. Any questions from anyone?
Anyone has any question? Okay. Okay. I think the question. Oh, anyone has any question? I am repeating the actually these things.
Okay, ma'am, I need to ask one question. Sir,
Okay, ma'am.
uh, sir, there is like agile model and then there is like a spiral model also.
Mm-hmm.
Agile model, then spiral model. So, like in agile model, it doesn't like rely on this like documentations and all. And then in spiral model, it's required some documentation in the spiral model. Okay. So,
Mm-hmm.
sir, why we are going for this agile model? We can go for this spiral also in this types of model in this software development.
So yeah, actually, if you are saying the spiral model and agile, why we are actually going to the agile model?
Yes, sir. Hmm.
Actually, there is no such principle like that. We have to go to the agile model. That is purely depends upon the what the complexity of that project. Whether that project is okay with the spiral model. I am not saying also that waterfall is not good. Okay, some projects are also accepting the waterfall also. So there is not such type of rules like in theoretical we are saying like these are the advantage, these are the disadvantage for this methods. Actually every methods have their advantage and disadvantage. Okay, that is purely depends upon that what the project is required, what the client is required, because when we are working with the industry purely and particularly in the service industry, that industry is purely focused on the client satisfaction. Okay, so in that in that way actually it will be working. So there is no such way that these are the advantages of this spiral and these are the disadvantages of this agile. So why we are using this? This is purely depends upon the project actually. I hope I'll be just to give your answer.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay. In IoT, if I'll be going to say, IoT is not working independently, right? This is a purely embedded. Embedded means it will be depends upon some hardwares also there and softwares are there, right? And in IoT also, we can the industry are using the agile principles, particularly the scrums also. Yeah. Any questions?
Anyone in any question? Okay. Fine. Thank you, Suvendu, for this brief question answer round. And now it's time to let me request Mrs. Madhuri ma'am to give the vote of thanks. Madhuri ma'am.
Sir, thank you, ma'am. Um, very good evening, sir. Suvendu, sir, thank you so much for joining us and giving us such a nice introduction about how the Scrum is being used, about how agile practices are so important. And what, like, when I'm thinking about it, I remember the slide which you were talking about related to family and how things can be done and looked at. When I saw this topic, I was thinking, how is it related? And when I actually kept thinking on that slide, and it's so nice of you to link it to our own technology. It kept me wondering, like, yes, so that was very nice, sir, how we relate it to our day-to-day life. If technology has so much of meaning, this actually suits. We should actually think about it in that way. On behalf of the CSC family, I really thank you for your time, sir. I would also like to thank Shatarupa ma'am to get us such a wonderful speaker this evening. The organizing members, I would like to thank our assistant HOD, Dr. Sarada Prasannapati, for coordinating, making this event possible. Our HOD ma'am, Dr. Debahuti Mishra, who is the convener of this SOA weekly academic lecture series. And sir, this is our 33rd webinar which Shatarupa ma'am was coordinating. I would like to thank all the students, all the participants who have been patiently listening and giving out their Saturday evening here. So with this, I would like to thank everyone. Thank you so much for joining, and thank you, Suvendu sir. I would really look forward if you could join us for any further event, if any possible collaboration is, feasible. In we'll look forward to that, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am, for your kind words.
So,
Nice to talk with you, everyone. Thank you, Satrupa madam. Thank you, Bharat sir, and thanks to all of you.
thank you, sir.